Hi everyone, my name is Romain Trousset and I'm an animal nutritionist. But I'm also the owner of Amigo Pet Food, a brand of exclusive pet food made in Mossel Bay in South Africa. Today, I would like to talk about what you can see on the guaranteed analysis of pet food. As part of the mandatory nutrients to indicate on pet food label in South Africa, we also have to mention the level of crude fiber. So why is that? Why is crude fiber an important nutrient? What does the law require for pet food manufacturer to mention it? Because after all, fiber is coming from plant origin and dogs are not cows, right? So you shouldn't find too much fiber in the pet food. But today, I also want to explain to you why a certain type of fiber in certain proportion is really important for pet nutrition. So what are fibers really? Fibers are a big range of compounds. They're carbohydrates. So chemically, they resemble sugars and starch. The only difference is it's long and big molecules that are often used in plant structures to simply hold the plant together or make up the leaf structure. And in principle, they're not very digestible by pets. This is exactly why the legislation in South Africa requires the pet food manufacturers to indicate the level of crude fiber as a maximum on the label of their pet food. Because in principle, you shouldn't be finding too much fiber in pet food. Otherwise, it's a sign of inferior product of plant origin being used. But as far as I'm concerned, really, fiber is too generic as a nutrient. We need to dig a little bit further into this. And you've understood if you watch some of my other videos that this is really the approach I like to have. I like to explain what are the building blocks of every nutrient that you find on the label so that you can better understand what we're dealing with. In the case of fibers, this is no different. There are actually different types of fibers and I want to make it simple to understand. I'm just going to use two categories for now. One being soluble fibers, the other one being insoluble fibers. They both have different capabilities and properties, and I want to explain to you why it's so important for pets to find a balance between the two. Soluble fibers, to start with, they are soluble in water, so they dissolve in water, and basically it makes them fermentable by the gut's microbe, the microbiota, the gut flora, all the bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that you find in the guts of dogs. In a healthy dog, it's normal to have millions and millions of these. They live and have the ability to ferment on fiber. So it is very important to have the right amount of soluble fiber because you feed those microorganisms. And there's a certain category of microbes that by fermenting those fibers are producing compounds that are excluding pathogenic bacteria. So those fibers, they are called prebiotics because they favor the emergence and the dominance in the gut microbiota of microbes that are beneficial to the dogs. And those microbes, by thriving and prospering, they are excluding the pathogenic bacteria. So these are very important. But insoluble fibers are also extremely important. So this is not a competition between soluble, good quality and insoluble, bad quality. In actual fact, you need both for a good balance. Insoluble fibers have the ability to capture water, bind with water, and they facilitate the formation of stool. Because they are insoluble, they do not get fermented by microorganisms so easily. So they have to get out, and they go out at the end of the digestive tract. As the food content is being digested all along the digestive tract, from the mouth to the large intestine, those fibers, they bind with water and they facilitate the formation of stool. So in other words, they avoid constipation, for instance. They are very important in that sense as well. So why does the law require that we have a maximum of 5% fiber? 5% fiber is quite high actually for dog food because dogs cannot digest fibers very efficiently. So if you have too much fiber, this means it's a lower quality dog food that we are dealing with. And the law is trying to protect the consumer against that by setting a maximum. However, you can find on the shelves of some pet shops and some vet practice some diets that are high in fiber. Do you know what they are? Well, these are diets that are aiming at weight control or weight loss for dogs. The strategy here from a nutritional perspective is to include a high level of fibers in those diets so that you decrease the amount of nutrients that the dogs can digest. I'm not particularly fond of these because what it does is it really disturbs the microflora balance in the guts. Remember, the gut microbiota is living and prospering on the amount of nutrients that is coming its way. So when there's a lot of fibers supplied, it really has a potential to disturb the microbiota balance. This is sort of an old-fashioned strategy to aim at weight loss. The other downside of these diets is they really make the dogs produce a high level of stools. When you have to do the cleanup, this is really not fun to have a dog on one of these weight loss high fiber diet, let me tell you. So what is the take-home message here? Fibers is not a nutrient that you really want in excess, and that's how the legislation planned it in South Africa by capping it to a maximum of 5%. However, you want a balance between soluble fibers, which can act as prebiotics, and insoluble fibers that are very good for stool formation and avoid constipation. So, as a lot of other things in nutrition, and particularly pet nutrition, a good balance is what you want to aim at.